When we picture a ransomware attack, the image that usually comes to mind is a shadowy figure hunched over a keyboard, operating from a dark, undisclosed server farm halfway across the globe. But in May 2026, the United States Department of Justice announced federal prison sentences that challenged that assumption. The individuals heading to federal prison for 4 years weren't overseas operatives. They were Ryan Goldberg and Kevin Martin, 2 American citizens operating from within the United States. What makes their convictions so staggering is their professional background. Goldberg was employed as an incident response manager for a prominent cybersecurity company, while Martin worked as a digital forensics expert. These men were specifically employed to secure computer networks against malicious threats. The experts hired to fortify the walls were the ones tearing them down. To understand their crimes, look at the tool they deployed, ALPHV, a sprawling threat group better known as the BlackCat ransomware cartel. To see BlackCat's scale, look back to early 2024, when the cartel breached UnitedHealth Group and its subsidiary, Change Healthcare. The immediate fallout from that single breach was devastating. It crippled hospital networks across the country, severing access to vital data and hindering critical patient care. The systemic financial damage was equally significant. Pharmacy transactions froze nationwide, eventually forcing UnitedHealth Group to pay out more than $2 billion to assist impacted healthcare providers. By facilitating BlackCat's operations, Goldberg and Martin actively empowered an entity capable of bringing the U.S. healthcare system to a standstill. BlackCat achieved this level of destruction through a corporate structure known as ransomware-as-a-service, or RAS. This diagram illustrates how the business model functions. The core BlackCat administrators developed the extortion software, but they didn't execute the hacks themselves. Instead, they rented their tools out to independent affiliates who carried out the actual attacks. Under this arrangement, Goldberg, Martin, and a third conspirator named Angelo Martino agreed to a strict profit-sharing model. They paid the central BlackCat administrators a 20% share of any ransoms they extracted, while keeping the remaining 80% for themselves. In one specific case, the 3 men successfully squeezed a victim for roughly $1.2 million in Bitcoin, split their cut 3 ways, and then laundered the digital currency to cover their tracks. Modern cyber attacks are rarely carried out by isolated rogue coders. They are executed by highly organized profit-sharing syndicates designed specifically for rapid expansion. The danger of this conspiracy lies in how the men operated. They weaponized their legitimate industry access to ensure the cartel's success. Consider Angelo Martino's specific role. In his day job, he worked as a trusted cyber negotiator, an expert hired by victimized companies to communicate with hackers and mitigate damage. He abused that trusted position. Martino secretly fed his clients' confidential insurance limits directly back to the BlackCat operators. Because the attackers know exactly how much the victim's insurance policy can afford to pay before the negotiation even begins, the target is stripped of all leverage. The BlackCat cartel targeted the networks of over 1,000 victims globally before their operations were disrupted by the FBI. While the platform itself has been dismantled, the consequences for the insiders are permanent. Goldberg and Martin are serving 4-year federal sentences, and Martino is currently awaiting his own. Traditionally, corporate security strategy relied on building massive, outward-facing digital walls to keep external threats out. But the BlackCat convictions expose the flaw in that approach. External walls offer no protection if the threat is already operating with authorized access behind the perimeter. Securing critical infrastructure today requires acknowledging an uncomfortable reality. Monitoring the external gates is no longer sufficient. Organizations must rigorously evaluate the very guardians they hire to stand in front of them.